good evening, good afternoon, good morning and welcome. It's Nurse Richard the Wax Wizard. Thanks for joining me. Really satisfying procedure today. Bit of a tricky one as well. Before I go on, stay tuned until the end because there's an extra special surprise coming for you. And I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's in response to quite a lot of comments that we get on the channel. So stay tuned for that. So what can I tell you about this procedure? It was difficult. It was very matted. That's hence the title of the video. That was the biggest problem with one like this. Now I don't think he'd been shoving cotton buds in his ear, this chap. He didn't say he did. I suspect he's got all this matted hair in this plug, which is what makes it difficult to remove. He kind of had a similar hairstyle to me, and so he shaves his head with a pair of clippers, trims it every week or so, and I say like a short beard as well, like me. So there's always hairs flying everywhere. You know, it drives my family mad when I do it because they go all over the place. You do your best to tidy them up. I do it over the bath, and then try and rinse it down the bath. But it's a right faff trying to get rid of it all. Sometimes it just flies everywhere. And they only need to find one or two, and they're like, "Dad, you've been at it again." It's cheaper than going to the hairdressers. Anyway, so yeah, he could barely hear anything, this chap, when he came to see me. Not surprising, really. Both of his ears were pretty full. The other ear isn't in this because it took about 2 seconds. It wasn't as difficult as this. It wasn't as matted for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, like I said before, there is a second ear in this one at the end, which is, like I said, quite a special episode. And you know me, it's not going to be a particularly serious thing. So what can I tell you about what's been going on? This tube, by the way. I got some of Neil's new suction tubes. If there's any other specialists who watch these, you really should try them. I found them really useful. Little handle, it is great to grip hold of. But probably the best thing about them is the varying sizes you can get. Because this size, I think it's the 16 gauge, which is halfway in between the full size Zolan tube and the fine end tube. And it's perfect for ears that are smaller or children's ears, or it's still got a fair amount of suction power, enough to do something like this, but you get better visibility in the ear canal because obviously the full size Zolan tube is just that, it's full size. It can sometimes obstruct what you're doing, but the fine end tube isn't powerful enough for stuff like this. So I'm finding I'm using this quite a lot. And he's also got a larger fine end tube. He's got 3 sizes, I'd say 14, 16, 17 that I've been using. And they're really good. And I know I did send him an email, congratulating him again, and saying, well done, these are really great. These have made my job a lot easier. And I know he shared that on some platforms too. So I know he likes getting the feedback from it. Because you can put your heart and soul into a lot of things, and when you receive some good feedback from it, I know it makes your day. So I made a point of telling him that I thought they were really good. But what's going on with I had a day off yesterday, which I don't normally do during the week, because it was kids' half term, so they have a week's holiday, and if any other parents of youngish children will understand this. The first few days are great. The last few days of it are like, oh my God, I'm bored. What can I do? They almost want to go back to school at the end of it. So I took my son golfing. Now I do take him, my youngest son, our Luke, who's nearly 13 now, nearly a teenager. Frightening, I know. I took my eldest out to the pub a couple of nights before that. Didn't quite recover from it, so probably I shouldn't have gone golfing a couple of days after. But yeah, it was his first time on a proper course. I normally just take him to the driving range and he can bash a few balls about. It doesn't matter where they go, but he found it very frustrating playing on an actual course where you send it in the wrong direction and it means you can't find it. Because if you're on a driving range, you have to go and you don't have to go and get your ball, do you? You can fire it anywhere you can. But I don't think it frustrated him that much that he won't go again. So hopefully we will. The first few days of the half term, my daughter went up to stay with my sister who lives in Scotland. They get on famously with my niece as well, because they're all big arts and crafts fans. And so she spent a few days up there with them, went up with my mum and dad, and came back with lots of craft projects that she's been making, sewing and crocheting, and very, very clever. I don't know how they do it, but it's very clever. And she's very well. Thank you for all of your kind messages. I know I've shared this on a post before, but I had some really good news last week from her cardiologist. If you've not been watching, she was diagnosed with a couple of very rare heart conditions that are hardly ever, if never seen together. They're having difficulty managing those, and she wasn't allowed to do sports, competitive gymnastics, which she really loves to do. And she's been trialling this medication, and she went for another test, and it turns out that it's working. So it means she can go back doing what she loves, competitive gymnastics, which is amazing. And it's what we've all been wanting for her. So thanks to all of you who've sent me some kind messages throughout this. It'll continue to be an issue that needs to be monitored and checked. And, you know, we do have to still be mindful that things can happen, but things are a lot less likely to happen now, which is great, obviously. Big worry off our mind. But again, thanks to all of you who sent some kind messages of support and well wishes and prayers. I do appreciate that. So we're coming to the end of this, and this is where it's really useful having this medium-sized tube in eels, because it's quite close to the eardrum, this. So I wouldn't ordinarily put a full-size tube down there, but this half-size tube, the one in between the fine end and the full-size tube, is just perfect for getting this out. And like I said, stay tuned. The next procedure you're going to see is in response to a lot of comments. A lot of comments I get, I said, I'm too slow, take too long. So I've speeded one up for you. And if that's not enough, I thought, let's have a bit of mariachi music along to it as well. Now this is 10 times the speed. Now, if you like watching me like this, not hanging around and not faffing about and not taking me time, then feel free to let me know what you think of this. And if you really enjoy this, I'll put more of these on the channel. And that's in response to all of those who said, you take too long. So, it's the same procedure, by the way, if you haven't already noticed. I wish it was that quick in reality. And there we go. That was it. I hope you enjoyed that. I did want to use the Benny Hill music on that, you know, but its copyright wouldn't let me do it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. If you want to see more of those, then feel free to leave us a comment down below. If you enjoy what I do, then feel free to subscribe to the channel, which doesn't cost you a penny. If you want more of these videos than you already get, you can get daily videos and absolutely loads and loads and loads and loads of them. Then you can consider becoming a member of the channel. But for now, I hope you enjoyed that. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you later. Ta-da.